Tonight, a delicate deal to deliver aid into Gaza after the U.S. president's trip to Israel.
The aid should go to civilians, not to Hamas.
The anger and accusations after a deadly hospital strike.
So we are facing disaster.
And the urgent race to save hostages.
We have hours, maybe days.
A complicated crypto web of deceit and fraud.
I'm so ashamed. I thought I was a smart guy, but I got taken.
One victim's ordeal as Canadians lose millions to scams. Plus, the couple who cashed in for a castle.
Within the craziness of the Canadian market, it becomes attainable.
From Fergus, Ontario to France, a royal real estate swap.
CTV National News with Omar Sachedina.
Good evening, everyone. By this time tomorrow, the U.S. president will have addressed his nation from the Oval Office about the spiraling crisis in the Middle East. Today, Joe Biden was in Tel Aviv, backing Israel's claims it was not behind yesterday's catastrophic strike on a hospital in Gaza. New video shows the terrifying moment of impact, the explosion reportedly killing hundreds, including children. Israel released what it says is evidence showing the rocket was fired by Palestinian militant group Islamic Jihad. The group has denied responsibility. The hospital blast sparking protests from Iran to Yemen and Lebanon, where demonstrators clashed with police outside the U.S. Embassy in Beirut. CTV's Adrian Gobriel leads us off tonight on a day of rising tensions and outrage.
Following 12 days of dire war, the wheels of diplomacy touched down in Israel, and with it, a defiance in a region balancing on a knife's edge.
I come to Israel with a single message. You're not alone. You are not alone.
Following a meeting with U.S. President Joe Biden, Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announcing that Israel will not prevent humanitarian aid from entering Gaza through Egypt, as long as it doesn't end up in the hands of Hamas. For days, a convoy of trucks packed with vital aid have been stalled in Egypt, unable to cross into Gaza. That is, until now.
Get as many of the trucks out as possible. There's, I guess, 150 or something there. The commitment is, if in fact they cross the border, the UN is going to be on the other side.
The U.S. president brought a message of support for Israel, with a humanitarian disaster spiraling out of control, American citizens stuck in Gaza, some believed to be held captive, and tensions rising after the deadly blast at a Gaza hospital, prompting protesters to take to the streets in the West Bank, resulting in Israeli forces killing 2 Palestinians, according to officials there. Just a few short kilometers from the walls of the West Bank, the week of Shiva has begun as family and friends mourn the loss of Tiferet Lapidot, a young Israeli woman with Canadian parents.
I'm so sorry for your loss.
Struggling to make sense of the senseless, the 22-year-old's uncle remembers a young woman who traveled the world with a mission to help others.
The only thing that I can tell you is it took more than 10 days to identify her body. You and your viewers can learn and imagine what happened to her.
Just 3 months earlier, Lapidot joined her uncle in Thailand, seen here jumping on his back in this family video. Lapidot is one of more than 260 people murdered by Hamas at the Supernova Music Festival. Her last desperate cry for help, a phone call to her mother.
There's a terror attack, they're shooting on us. What shall I do? So her mother didn't know what to tell her. Your own child is crying for help and you can do nothing. And that was the last time we've heard from her.
The Lapidot family say the support they've received from Canadians has been humbling. As for aid getting into Gaza, it won't be coming from within Israel. The government saying that won't happen until Hamas releases the hostages. Omar.
All right. right, Adrian, thank you. As we mentioned, the volley of blame over the Gaza hospital attack intensified today. Israel says there are intercepts where Palestinian militants acknowledge it was not an Israeli missile. Jordan's foreign minister says many in the region don't believe it.
In reality, the Israeli army is not very credible in this part of the world as well. The only way that people would entertain a different narrative is if there is an independent international inquiry.
CTV's Heather Wright is in Tel Aviv tonight and has more on that devastating blast.
The hospital courtyard full of bloody blankets and dead bodies. People racing to find survivors, but rescue efforts have been hindered by the lack of supplies in Gaza. My friend and I had to collect limbs, this man says. This is just insane. It's unimaginable. A massive blast last night, followed by chaos and agony. Hamas quickly pointed a finger at the Israeli military, while Israel says their intelligence shows the blast was caused by a failed rocket launch by Islamic Jihad. Today, Israel released satellite images and video they say shows they were not behind the blast. The United States backing up that claim, saying their intelligence shows the same.
And based on what I've seen, it appears as though it was done by the other team, not you.
With airstrikes a daily occurrence in Gaza, the hospital had become a safe place for the many people displaced from their homes. Last night, an estimated 470 people died here, according to Palestinian officials.
We could see bodies of children piled up, both dead, not moving, and wounded. There were several who had been amputated. I tended to a man who had his leg blown off at the thigh.
More than 3,500 people in Gaza have been killed since Israel's intense bombardments began. Retaliation for the brutal attacks carried out by Hamas in southern Israel. As the two sides exchange fire, pleas from the World Health Organization to protect hospitals.
Healthcare is not a target, and it should not be a target.
Hamas continues to launch rockets into Israel. Most are intercepted by the Iron Dome defense system, but some get through.
And these iron curtains, you can see the marks that were made by the rocket.
Ramit Safan was inside the safe room in his apartment in Ashkelon when it was hit by a rocket.
This building is the evidence that they launch missiles indiscriminately.
This is the remnant of the rocket out here on the balcony. And when you get into the apartment, you can see just how powerful it was. It traveled through this coffee table here, then through this door, which would have been closed at the time, out here into the hallway, hitting this metal electrical panel.
More than 1,000 rockets have hit buildings in Ashkelon since this war began, including this one, caught on camera.
The rocket hit the car outside their gate and blew it.
Both sides continue to place blame on the other for the hospital blast as protests spread to more cities across the Middle East. Omar.
All right, Heather, thank you. And there were also protests closer to home. Demonstrators demanded a ceasefire at a sit-in at the Capitol in Washington. Dozens were arrested, including this retired rabbi from Hamilton, Ontario, part of a group called Jewish Voice for Peace. In Chicago, some in a massive crowd marched to the Israeli consulate.
We won't be silent, free!
In Toronto, protesters chanted in solidarity with Gaza outside Queen's Park. And at the Manitoba legislature, there was a walk and vigil. Tomorrow, British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak will be in Israel. British nationals among the hostages being held by Hamas. CTV's Judy Trin speaks with a former negotiator on the critical timeline to release them.
Families clutching photos of babies, teenagers, and the elderly. At least 199 loved ones taken hostage by Hamas, including this grandmother kidnapped from Nir Oz kibbutz.
She would look them in the eyes and let them see she's a person. She's a person. And that they can't kidnap her, but they won't humiliate her.
Canadian Judy Weinstein Haggai and her Israeli husband Gad were also taken from the same kibbutz.
My friends who were kidnapped, my mom and dad. It's just too much. My brain can't really comprehend this time, really.
As families plead for the U.S. and other foreign governments to intervene, Israel is refusing to talk for now.
We don't negotiate with Hamas. These are not people that you can negotiate with. They just want to kill us, and it's time to put an end to it.
In 2011, Gershon Baskin negotiated with Hamas to release a captured Israeli soldier.
We're talking about human lives, and they talk about who we can talk to and who we can talk to.
Gilad Shalit was freed exactly 12 years ago today in exchange for more than 1,000 Palestinian prisoners. Shalit was just one hostage. Baskin says this time the cost of not considering all options is too high.
And I don't care if we have to release some Palestinian prisoners to do that, or grant Hamas a temporary ceasefire in order to save those lives. If any hostage holder releases a hostage, they can get amnesty and free passage to anywhere in the world they want to go with a bundle full of money.
The window for negotiation is hours, maybe days. Once Israel begins its ground assault, Baskin says it's unlikely all the hostages can be saved. Omar.
All right, Judy, thanks. There is a stunning development tonight in the case of Natalie Holloway, the Alabama teenager who disappeared in Aruba nearly 2 decades ago. Today, the main suspect revealed chilling details of how he killed Holloway. Here's CTV's Melanie Nagy.
For 18 years, Beth Holloway has been seeking justice for her only daughter, Natalie, who disappeared in Aruba while on a high school graduation trip.
We finally got the answers we've been searching for all these years. We finally, today, we got justice for Natalie.
Today, the prime suspect in the disappearance, Dutch national Joran Vandersloot, finally shared the horror he inflicted on young Holloway back in 2005.
He finally confessed that he killed Natalie. He described when and how he killed her.
Vandersloot's confession came after he pleaded guilty in U.S. federal court to extorting the Holloway family for $250,000 in exchange for more information.
Joran had to truthfully disclose what happened to Natalie.
After meeting Holloway at a bar, he says he tried to have sex with her on the beach. When she resisted, he bludgeoned her face with a cinder block.
After killing her on the beach in Aruba, he put her into the water, and that was the last that he ever saw her.
Holloway's case dominated headlines for years and resulted in books, movies, and podcasts. But today, her family said they hope that's all behind them. Their only focus now is honoring the memory of a beloved young woman.
She was truly the best sister I could have ever asked for. Absolutely.
As for Vandersloot, he apologized to the Holloway family before being sentenced to 20 years for the extortion scheme, time he will serve in Peru, where he's already been jailed for murdering another young woman. Melanie Nagy, CTV News, Vancouver.
Criminal cryptocurrency scams are on the rise in Canada, with millions lost. CTV's Alberta Bureau Chief Bill Fortier spoke to a victim who wants to spare others from his pain.
It was so hard to tell my family.
Like thousands of Canadians, this man is the victim of a cryptocurrency investment scam. We've agreed to hide his identity because of the personal nature of his situation.
I was suffering in silence for so long, and that was so painful.
In 2021, he came across an ad for the UK-based brokerage Arc Capital. Its website no longer exists. He invested $100,000.
And this guy just pumped me right up about cryptocurrencies. Just about, oh, it's going to be the wave of the future.
At first, it appeared his portfolio was doing well. When it started to drop, he tried to withdraw his money. Even though the site claimed that was an easy process, it wasn't. For more than a year, he says he was repeatedly promised his money was coming. Each time he was charged what the company claimed were taxes, commissions, and fees, until he was in for $400,000.
Nickel and diming you, but you don't realize it. Those nickels aren't nickels, they're $5,000 nickels.
He has yet to see any of that money. It's a growing problem. Calgary police have received 340 reports of cryptocurrency scams so far this year, worth $22.5 million, about 50% more than all of last year.
I think there's an element, still a novelty element related to cryptocurrency as it relates to frauds and scams.
Across Canada, reported investment scams in the first half of this year total $161.4 million. It's estimated more than half involve cryptocurrency.
There's no regulation, which makes it the Wild West.
Experts say the crypto market is a playground for criminals because transactions are often anonymous and hard to trace. Red flags include big promises and a sense of urgency. You should be skeptical of all online ads and emails.
Any cryptocurrency investment scheme or any cryptocurrency opportunity that comes your way is an instant red flag. There's no one that's going to be reaching out. Why would they not do it themselves?
That man whose identity we hid says he spoke to us in hopes that those who see his story won't fall for the same traps. Omar.
All right, Bill, thanks. Coming up.
Ever since the Johnny Cash machine, we need less people around the bank.
Taking stock of the global layoffs at Scotia Bank, plus swapping a Canadian house for a majestic French castle. Caribbean representatives from 15 nations are in Ottawa for 2 days to discuss climate change, economic development, the crisis in Haiti, and deepening connections with Canada. It's the first time the Caribbean community, known as CARICOM, is holding a summit on Canadian soil. Scotia Bank has had a presence in the Caribbean for more than 130 years. And today, the Canadian bank, one of this country's biggest, revealed it is slashing its workforce. CTV's Heather Butts with the impact.
Layoffs are no longer lurking at one of Canada's largest banks. They're here.
Ever since the Johnny Cash machine, we need less people around the bank. ChatGPT is changing the way that you can do basic AI work that doesn't need a human.
Scotia Bank announced it's cutting 3% of its global workforce. That's around 2,700 staff. The restructuring includes trimming some real estate holdings and writing down the value of an investment in a China-based bank.
Across the board for Canadian banks, there's just not a lot of growth out there. So when you don't have growth, you don't have pricing pressure, and you've got a concern about a recession coming, you got to cut costs. And maybe Scotia's getting ahead of this.
With higher interest rates cutting back on loan demand, this economist says the bank is looking to profit from cutting paychecks.
The bank is making huge amounts of money despite higher interest rates, $2.2 billion in the third quarter alone. So they didn't have to do this to try and staunch the bleeding. They're just doing it to try and maximize their profits.
It's the latest hit to Bay Street, with both RBC and CIBC making recent cuts.
Labor markets are a bit of a trailing indicator of how things are going. Businesses are quite reluctant to cut back on staff, especially if things start turning better again.
While some don't expect unemployment to soar, businesses are starting to reassess.
If you see companies that are laying off workers now, it's probably because they overexpanded in the aftermath of COVID or even in the lead up to COVID. And so this is merely now all of the years of good times over the last decade and a half finally coming to roost.
The bank is trying to get in line ahead of its fourth quarter earnings to be released the end of November, when further details on the cutbacks will also be announced. Heather Butts, CTV News, Toronto.
Still ahead. Canadian political history and a step forward on the journey of reconciliation. As a young man, Wab Kinu's father, a residential school survivor, was not allowed to vote. Today, his son made Canadian political history. Here's CTV's Manitoba Bureau Chief Jill Makashon.
The significance of this moment made clear. An historic day for Manitoba and the province's newest leader, Wab Kinu.
I, Wabanakwit Kinu, do solemnly swear that
the Anishinaabe politician took his place as Manitoba's 25th Premier. A ceremony that felt like a celebration, the first First Nations Premier of any Canadian province.
It really is Manitoba's
true act of reconciliation.
Canoe and his Manitoba New Democrats swept to power in early October, becoming the governing party for the first time since 2016, campaigning on promises to fix health care, address cost of living challenges, and help the homeless. Announcing his cabinet, which for the first time in Manitoba includes 2 First Nations women, Canoe appointed himself as the minister responsible for Indigenous reconciliation.
We are one people, and we all have the right to be treated equally.
A former broadcaster and author, Canoe has written about his troubled past, assault and impaired driving, which he was pardoned for. His story also includes acceptance and recovery. In Winnipeg, a city with the largest urban Indigenous population in Canada, Canoe is not done talking about the possibilities.
And no matter which barriers you have to overcome on your life's path, that the road to success is open for you.
Canoe's message of unity is inspiring hope. Manitobans have embraced the changes his party has promised, but now the real business of governing begins tomorrow with the first cabinet meeting. Jill Makashon, CTV News, Winnipeg.
After the break, the couple who bought a European castle after selling their Canadian home. In real estate, they say timing is everything. Now, a Canadian couple is living out a fairy tale dream in a French chateau. CTV's Vanessa Lee on how they did it.
Nestled in the French countryside 5 hours southwest of Paris, it's easy to see why this was a coup de cœur for Stephen and Sarah Cole.
It's a fairy tale that we managed to somehow grab and make a reality, which is super exciting.
Look at that handsome guy.
For years, they dreamed of moving to France to be surrounded by art, culture, and history.
We did coincidentally stay in a chateau when I was 16, and that may have planted a seed in a young person's mind.
During the pandemic, the couple started searching for properties, never imagining they could swap their 4-bedroom home in the small community of Fergus, Ontario, for an 11-bedroom castle in France.
The revenue that we made from the sale of our place was enough for us to purchase this chateau outright. It was shocking to us and our real estate agent.
They're keeping the cost a royal secret. All they'll say is they had multiple offers in a hot housing market 2 years ago. Though there is definitely more work involved in owning a 500-year-old castle that sprawls across 37 acres of land.
Most of it is wooded. But it's about a 6-hour mow to get all the lawns mowed. I'm getting a leaf blower next week that I'm really excited about. So there's a lot of leaves to deal with.
This isn't just home for the graphic designer and former IT professional, but also their business. They're hosting everything from retreats to exhibitions in hopes of bringing other dreams to life too.
Because that's really what chateaus are about, right? They were never meant for 2 people to just ramble around in all alone. They are meant to be communal spaces where people came together.
Restoring a piece of history, a new labor of love. Vanessa Lee, CTV News, Montreal.
Proof that some dreams really do come true. That's a snapshot of this Wednesday for all of us at CTV National News. Thank you for watching. Good night, and see you tomorrow.